And we're back.
Welcome.
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 We do not waste no time around these parts because we talk forever. So, with that being said, I am Ralph, the coach, certified life coach.
And I am Candy from Candy Conversations, certified talker.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so what's our topic for today?
Okay. So, my question slash topic is, do you think it's being dishonest if I don't tell my partner everything? Like not lying, but just not saying certain things. And where's the line?
So, my thing with that though is what is everything? Because that's for me, I'm how do I want to say that? I am not a intentional sneaky person. Like I don't do things, but if we need to go there, I am definitely going to win, right? I'm just being honest. I'm not going to even try to be like, "Oh no, I'm not." No, we're going to do I'm a win. I'm a win.
Mhm.
Definitely check into that Leo. Do too much, go too far. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
about to tap into that about
Now
the
it's a challenge.
yeah, now it's so you think you sneaky? Let me show you. Let me show. I bet you won't find out what I did 25 years later. Don't play me.
Like, oh, because I forgot that I did it. That's why
Oh
you
no,
have
I didn't
not.
forget. And if you never find out, even better because you're trying to figure out why is she so calm,
Right, right,
right?
right.
So my thing is though, for I know someone who is intentionally sneaky, but also for people who aren't intentionally sneaky like us,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? Like,
Right,
because I know I have the forthcoming, I don't care. When I say I don't care, I don't have anything to hide. So
right.
I I know people how do you want to say it? I know people, I don't want to say confused, but people confuse transparent and honest. Transparent is
Mm.
forthcoming. Hey, today I went out with James. Remember, James is my coworker from so and so and so.
Mm-hmm.
This is the picture we took. I posted online.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We had a great time. You remember when he came to the house when we had the thing? Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't tell me y'all was going. Well, actually, I was just checking in with him today. And he said, hey, I got an hour for lunch. You want to meet me? And I said, yeah,
Right,
that is transparent.
right.
This is, I saw your IG stories and I saw, who's that guy?
Who's that
Oh,
man?
now it's being honest because
Right,
now I'm telling you what happened without me being forthcoming,
right, right.
right? Someone, I'm saying someone sneaky would, it all depends on what your intentions is, what your intentions are.
You have my mind spinning with that a little bit because it's like not in a bad light because it's like I feel like the tuned in partner would know which one to be as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I trying to say? What am I trying to
Well,
say?
I think you're trying to say you know which one to be when to be it
Yeah. And
because
how, because you might need to be more of one than the other, depending on who you're with, too.
right, and then that also goes back, what attachment style does your partner have?
And healing.
Yeah. So I mean that's so yeah, that's all together.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
know if I know my partner is insecure about,
Yes.
then I know that I need to be transparent all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then that also could burn out a secure attachment person. Whereas I can do it, but it's also is how it's being received because if I can't
Right.
get to a point of being transparent and being honest,
Right.
so the reason why I'm probably heavy on the transparent because if I'm honest with you, you might not believe me.
Whew. That's another can and little squiggly things called worms. That is. That
I
is.
mean, and it's just like, oh my God. So yeah, that goes into that bucket.
Right. And
So,
I feel like I'm wondering though, because I would venture to say that um I think my partner is more transparent than I am, but I don't really feel like I don't know why. I think it has a lot to do with my personality type, if I'm just being honest.
I was
That-
gonna say, but I'm glad you said it first. I
and
was
but
for real.
and it's not that I'm doing anything deceptive. I just don't, he's transparent. I'm more honest.
Yeah,
But I don't have a problem with transparency. I just don't naturally go there. But I do think it does have a lot to do with both our pasts too. Because
yeah,
I'm like, this is what, he'll give me a rundown of his day
yeah.
every day. And I'm just like, okay. And I can do the same. I just don't, my mind does not click in to
To
do
do
that.
it, to do it.
Um, but yeah, that just came to mind because I'm like,
So,
and I can be extremely transparent about things that'll bring people to their knees. But then on a day in and day out, I'm like, okay,
well,
see you later.
no, I think what you're still saying is honest. Like I said,
Yeah,
you're not transparent. You can be honest about something that will bring people to their needs. You're not going to be transparent because I mean they're not asking you and they're not probing you. You're just coming with it.
right.
You are the type of person who's honest. Somebody, even when it comes to you being upset and angry,
Mm-hmm.
somebody has to do enough poking for you to get there.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be like, you was looking for ninja here now.
Mm.
Whereas if I think you have packed a small bag into your tail over here, I'm gonna get you because I would
Huh.
rather not be bothered.
Right.
But then to be bothered with some BS, like the lion I am, I'm gonna maul you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Whereas you're just like, as an Aquarius, in the air. You do
Yeah.
whatever you want to do, da da da, and then somebody has to tap 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 tap, and you like, why are you disturbing my peace?
My breeze. You bothering my
You,
breeze?
you
I'm in
bother
the
my breeze. And so then once you get upset and I think you're like, oh, have a seat, honey. Let me since since you want to stop my breeze, hold on,
Yeah.
please.
Let,
Hold
let's
on.
let's get to it.
Let's get to
Let's
it.
get to
So
it.
that's what I'm saying. So you are definitely honest because you're how I was going to say you just like my personality type. I just think you're just off into doing your thing.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking about let me run down
Right.
a thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna with my little coach hat, I was gonna say, have you asked or are you okay with asking, do you need this?
I'm okay with asking it. I have not
And
asked
then
it, but I'm
but I don't
yeah.
want you to ask and then not do it.
Yeah. And the little voice helps me stay on track with things like that because like I'm the person once I say it out loud,
Mhm.
that's my constant
Yeah,
reminder.
that's
Because
your
even
trigger.
things like um I've said out loud that, I need to do more with, affirming because words of affirmation is one of his love. Like he needs that and
For a
it
lot of guys.
motivates him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the other day, like, we've been doing a lot. We've been really busy, back and forth, traveling, whatnot. And when I tell you he deep cleaned that kitchen, and I was just like, thank you for doing that. But then the next day I said thank you again. And he was like, did you see something else from that I did? I did. And
Nice
I was
head.
like,
Nice
but
head.
I had to tell him because like this is something that I've been trying to like help get him to understand too. I said, no, I wanted to say thank you again because I just walked into the kitchen and it just feels good to
It
walk into a
feels
clean space.
good,
So
honey. It feels
I just
good.
it made it, I'm still thankful that you did it. As I know it's hard work sometimes to do all that because he's like, whoa, I'm tired. I gotta wait and go out later because but I'm like, yeah, it is a lot of work. But also on the flip side, it's like I'm glad he did it because now he sees what goes into that.
Yeah.
So like experience is the best teacher.
It is.
So
It is.
but no, so even for me, I was like, let me affirm him again
Yeah.
because like that I just to be, a good partner. Like I need to tell him and he's doing things that are great because I don't want to ever be that fix this, fix this, fix this, fix this person. Because there
Right.
are
And then
human
you
beings
say,
like that.
and then you're thankful inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people, I don't say a lot of people, some people, they just, it's one of those things where communication just needs to be better, where
Mm-hmm.
the gratitude is there.
Mm-hmm.
The gratitude is not spoken.
Right, right.
So it's
That
just like, oh my God, like inside your head, you're like, this looks, oh my God, this looks so good.
right,
Like, oh my gosh. And you never say, oh my gosh.
right,
I love that you did this. I love your outfit.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I love your new car. I love
Mm-hmm.
those things just don't come out. It's just like inside, it's like, oh my God, look at my friend. My friend got a new car.
Right.
And just we don't say those things. So then you need to, that's why I asked you, were you okay with saying, hey, you know how you run this
Let me
whole,
write that down.
you know how,
Say that.
no, I'm gonna say, you know how you run this list down for me?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need that from me? Like, would you like that I do that for you?
I need to write down this question to ask because this is not something that would pop up in my
Right.
brain by
Because
itself.
the whole point of it is to help us if we're both not there, but to help us
Mm-hmm.
both become securely attached.
Right, right, right.
Because, you know, the more that you know, help me be at ease when if I'm already coming to a relationship and I don't have a secure attachment,
Right.
and you peep it, you know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, you know, unless you're looking for, most of the time, I think people are told um,
Mm-hmm.
by either a professional therapist,
Right,
coach person, or someone who's already maybe gone through.
right.
You've already been, you know, told, hey, you have this attachment style.
Mm-hmm.
You realize and you're working on becoming more secure. Then you have a friend or a person you're in a relationship, and you're like, I see you.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
have you noticed that you do this? I think you need to look into this.
mm-hmm.
Without it being pointed out, most people just navigate in their thing.
I have a story from
Oh, I
just this
already knew, but you were
morning.
laughing.
From just this morning, because like, so of course it's Jazz Fest weekend. That's my thing
In
for so
Atlanta
many different
for the people
reasons.
who
And so
pause, because you just be don't even be looking at me, just be talking. I said
oh,
in Atlanta for people who don't live here, because you just said it's jazz. Everybody don't live in Atlanta.
Atlanta Jazz
There
Festival,
you go. Okay, now go.
Memorial Day weekend in Atlanta, every Memorial Day weekend. And if you don't make this one, because you probably won't make this one
Oh,
after
you
this is
won't.
posted if you didn't know about it. But every Memorial Day weekend, it is free. It is one of the only free jazz fests in the US, and it's 3 days.
Mhm.
And they have some reputable people show up. And even if you've never heard of them, they're all great. So I love that I could do something for free Memorial Day weekend in
Yeah.
Atlanta. And you can take your chairs, your coolers, your tents, not big tents, but like, little beach tents. You can take all that stuff out there and they have no problem with it. So
And you forgot kids.
no animals though. You can't take your pets. But
Yeah.
people do take their kids out and they play all day out there. It's a good time. But jazz is another type of vibe, you
Okay,
know?
get to the story, but you gonna
Okay,
go through all.
sorry. I like jazz. But anyway, I was talking about going out to Jazz Fest this weekend and I was asked, so you going out there by yourself? And I was like, well, yeah, I have before. I did think about asking a couple people. And I think in that, so this is making me think like I had already in my mind planned a few people I was going to ask if they're not doing nothing, do they want to go out and hang? But, I'll go by myself. But like, I know had the tables been turned, he would have told me days ago, I'm thinking about asking such and such if they want to go out there with me. I'm just like, well, you don't want to go, so it doesn't matter. But that's just kind of how I don't
That
see
is
anything.
definitely an Aquarius.
Yeah. But also it's like they're people
Rude.
he's met before. They're young ladies. So it's not like, and so I'm
I
already
think
making my decision on do you really need to know this? But
I think you need to start doing it.
I might need some feathers for my breeze.
Um, I think this is going to
Coach me.
I think this is going to be challenging for you. I do think you need to do it.
Okay.
Um, I'm always going to I'm not going to go too deep because I didn't ask permission yet, so I'm just going to be high level for everyone. But this is I know there has to be people who have or are in relationships like this. I'm always going to advocate for therapy. Um, but what I'm saying is I think you're going we, without having the experience
Mm-hmm.
of confident in individuality,
Mm-hmm.
like I can, again, being secure, I can navigate on my own and do these things. I am good with doing things by myself.
Right.
And that's why I say confident, secure individuality. Not
Mm-hmm.
I have to eat at the restaurant by myself because my friends didn't show up, or I take my meal and eat at home by myself.
Right.
You actually are okay navigating the world. This person is my plus one, right? So everything is not solely like contingent on what they do, what we do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's more like a check-in. Are we doing this together? No, boom, next, right? Because we have a lot of people in the world who, when we get into relationships, even in friendships, I look for them to treat me like how I treat them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I look for a mirror. So
Mm-hmm.
if I'm running you down the list, I expect for you to run me down the list
Yeah.
without saying, because all of this is a lot of non-communication. And where some things should be non-communication,
Right.
there's more non-communication and assumption going on, and
Mm-hmm.
you should know. And why don't you already know this? You old enough to already know this?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you old enough to tell me? Why
Mm-hmm.
aren't you old enough to communicate if this is something that you really need and you see I haven't picked it up yet?
Right. Right. Right.
So, with that being said, I just feel that, to me, my perspective is he wants you to marry him. And
Yeah.
that's why I said this will be hard for you.
And to give a little bit of like background to the viewers on me, I've spent more time single than in relationships, and that's not an excuse, but I'm just saying I'm learning a lot. And this is haven't really been in a lot of really long-term relationships either. So we're kind of getting to the point now where normally I'm like, yeah, okay. And I don't feel that way about him. Let me be clear. I
Yeah, yeah,
don't.
yeah.
But I don't have, whereas he has experience, much more long-term relationship experience than I do.
Mhm.
Um, but that also kind of feeds into the do it by myself.
Yeah.
But I kind of did my spirit fingers while Ralph was talking, because this is also something that I've had to consciously get back to, being okay doing things on my own. So with that, yeah, I do sometimes feel bad about not saying things, but then I'm in that little space where it's like, was I supposed to tell him that? Like I'm really questioning sometimes, because I again, I don't want to like, like she said with the mirror. I don't want to overload anybody with information. I don't do well with information overload. So I don't tell things sometimes. I was like, you need to know that. That's a whole lot. Like, what you telling me all that for?
And you see how you said that, but you also didn't ask.
Right, right. Yeah, that's
And
just
that's what I was saying. People don't ask. We just assume, well,
yeah,
I don't like it, so you can't like it either.
right.
I'm not
Put
going to
all
do
that
it.
information.
Right. Where he might be like, yes, please.
Yes. Yeah, we're very different in that. But that kind of comes with the territory. So I mean, like, even like, okay, you want to get your hair done today. Okay. I don't need a play by play. I trust that you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, even if you told me 3 days ago. But I get how that is like a check-in
Mhm.
thing. And I'm not discounting it. I don't need it, but I'm not bothered by it either, if that makes sense. So, but I can see with my mini coaching how it would be beneficial to reciprocate that. Yeah,
So
I
let
see
me
how it could be beneficial. It is going to be a challenge.
so let me bring
It,
this up also because I've seen this on social media. I am someone who navigates on this side of the communication line,
mhm.
whereas I forgot how it was said, but and I hate this because I mean I don't feel like I should know, but I should know. But they have a panel. Is I think it's two women and two men, and like you see them on social media, Instagram, and they have like little tours
I know who you're talking
about
about.
relationship conversations, but they have a
Mm-hmm.
panel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the questions was, or maybe he brought up because the guy, the light skinned guy with the glasses,
Mm-hmm. I know exactly who you're
right,
talking
he was
about.
bringing up about checking it, right, and he was
Mm-hmm.
saying how, and also, um, oh God, what is her name? She did the whole podcast with Cam Newton and got him together. She's
Mm-hmm.
a psychotherapist. She has her own show, Black Women, in LA. Oh, I feel so bad, but I'll put it in the in the caption. But she also brought it up too, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm from, and it's all about being secure. What are you fighting, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like some men will, say, hey, they might call and be like, oh, I didn't know you were going out. Who
Mm-hmm.
are you with? What time are you coming out? I already got a daddy. I don't need another daddy, right? Then you got some men, I don't need nobody checking for me, seeing what time I come and go. Same thing with women.
Mm-hmm.
But I say this though, because I'm the one who wants to know, not because I
Mm-hmm.
need to come pop up, not because
Right,
I'm
right.
on, but God forbid,
Mm-hmm.
if the police come to me and say, hey, so and so was in an accident today. Do you know where they were?
Mm.
Egg on my face, because my thing is no.
Right.
This is your partner that you live with and you don't know where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because we're secure. We don't have to do that.
Whoa, that's a
That's a
topic
whole,
in
but I just
itself.
want to bring this up.
Yeah.
Two, do you know who they were with? Well, no, because I don't be checking who he with. It.
Yeah. It's accountability.
You don't know nothing to help
Yeah.
give the police to help y'all because
Yeah.
you don't know where he was.
Right.
You don't know who he was with. And you
Mm-hmm.
like, honey, I don't want nobody to check me. I got a daddy.
Right. Right. Right.
But if that person is concerned, just in case anything, because you know how this world is, anything could happen to you. They want
Mm-hmm.
to be able, like, I know she went to go get her hair done. I know where she
Right.
gets her hair done at. I know, but it was like, well, wait a minute, because we found her all the way over here, and he was like, well, I don't know because this is where she's supposed to
Right.
be.
Right.
I
Right.
know this is her way. She'll stop by Starbucks and do this,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd be like, okay, come on, help us because we need to figure out why. And
Mm-hmm.
I know she always, matter of fact, her girlfriend Sheila might know something too because she always on the phone with Sheila. They need to know stuff like that just in case anything was happened. But to be like, oh yeah, we've been together for 5 years. You
But
don't
you
know
will
they were
never
cheating.
know. Wow.
Wow. That's and so, but people like me, I'm like, okay, well, wait, where you gonna be at? I don't even know where he get his haircut at.
Oh,
No,
wow. Yeah.
you don't know.
Wow. Huh.
Because I don't need to know that he going to get his haircut. I don't get a haircut.
It almost gives the energy of you don't care, you know?
Because the end of you don't care. But when we go back to, are we doing that because I don't want you checking for me because I'm doing something sneaky?
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'm
because yeah, I do say I'm someplace and I don't be there.
right,
So I don't
right,
need you to know where I'm at.
right, right. I'm glad you shared that because that hit me different because that's definitely not my intention, but I see how I can give that, but again, I
And if
just
you have a man who wants to protect you,
yeah,
you're saying,
yes.
I don't need your protection. I know, I'm
Protecting who
sorry.
he is. No,
Yeah, but
no.
most men are, but you're like, I
Yeah,
don't need your protection. I don't need you. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But the moment I do, now we got to go through a whole thing with where you at.
Yeah.
Because remember, you didn't even tell me where you was at.
And you know what? So this is taking it. We dip our toes in different
But no,
buckets when we
we
do.
still on the same because all of this is, again,
Yeah.
are we gonna be transparent, or you know what I'm saying, or are we just gonna be honest? But
Mm-hmm.
all of this is diving into where transparency works on so many different, like,
Right.
what I'm saying, in so many areas where honesty is the aftermath.
It's almost like I just had a little another mini moment with myself where I feel like there's another part of my inner child that needs to be worked on because I was always being asked every little detail, but a lot of it was to veto what I wanted. So then it became this, I had no choice. If I tell them and they don't like it, I'm not going to get to do it. And I really want to do that. So I just kept stuff to myself and did what I want.
So
And
there you
that's
go.
ever since childhood, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I'm the kid that I'm not calling every day. I don't need you to know because I don't need you giving me your opinion that I ain't asked for because I'm gonna still do what I want to
What I
do.
want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, and so it was like, before we even get into that, how about I just not give you the information?
Yeah.
So I like, that's a, that's an inner child thing. I know that
It's an inner child thing, but for people who have kids that are small and might be doing this is
yep.
a good indication to stop because there is a line between control and caring.
Yes.
And that's where I'm caring, where I'm questioning just in
Right.
case anything happened. If I need to
Mm-hmm.
jump, if you need to call me, say, come get me. I don't even need to ask where you at. Yeah,
Right.
we have location. Everybody doesn't like to share location.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But again, if somebody comes to me and say, hey, we found your son. Well, wait a minute, because he's supposed to be at the skating rink.
Right.
So how he get over here?
Right.
And you're like, well, what time was he supposed to get? I'm able to have dialogue,
Yeah.
with someone because the mama know where he's supposed to
Right.
be. We just need to figure out how he got over there.
Right.
So that eliminates to me. I'm always trying to eliminate time because time is, and I'm sorry, this is my true crime brain on. This is a lot of first 48
Yeah. The
law
first
and
48
order.
hours are the most important.
Yeah, but my thing is, I'm always like in emergency, even with the kids. When my son falls, let me hurry up because I don't have time.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I need to go ahead and get that clean before bacteria infection get in. Let's go ahead and get this
Yeah, for
time,
sure.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So emergencies, time is of the essence,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so now we got to do a whole backlog of,
Mm-hmm.
well, I got to figure out where she's supposed to be.
Right.
And if this
Right.
was where she was supposed to be, and all of this, and so that just wastes time. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to say it, you were controlled.
Mm-hmm.
So then I can control what you do, how you do it, where you go.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for me, I even say this, I just need to know, and you might have to say this, not to you, but
Mm-hmm.
to say the opposite. He may have to say this to you. I don't want to control where you're going. I just want to know just in case,
Right.
you know? And I do that with my son. I just need to know where you're going because he's in the growing phases where I have to see, because right now we go back and forth with asking for things,
Mm-hmm.
asking for snacks,
Mm-hmm.
asking for, and he won't ask because, like you said, I think you're going to tell me no. I said, well, you don't know because you don't ask.
Right. Right.
Now the answer is
No. Right.
right. Could have been a
Mm-hmm.
whole yes, but you'll never know because you're assuming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And just like you said, I assume that the answer is going to be no, or you can't do
Right.
it, or whatever. So I'm about to tell you nothing. I'm just about
Right.
to do it on my own.
Right.
Whereas me, I'm just like, I understand because I've been that age,
Mm-hmm.
but there are also things that you don't necessarily know how to navigate. And I'm just use my son like I told him. I said, you will snack all day and don't eat, but maybe
Yeah.
dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if I continue to not say anything, or as a parent, as your guardian, guide you through better eating habits,
Yeah.
you're gonna be messed up when you get older. You're gonna
Yeah.
have diabetes. You're gonna have, and I'm like, to be transparent, he has a blood disorder. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to take a shot for that. You're gonna have
Right.
to take a shot for the diabetes. You probably may have, other I just skipped the commercial. But you may have
Diabetes.
other stuff. And then and your question is, man, mama, why you let me eat like that?
Yeah. Right. Nope. Wasn't me.
And how am I as an adult gonna say, well, you wanted to?
Right. And you already, girl, you already know they do it.
They do. They do. They do. So the thing is helping you just like you may be helping him. Do you
Mm-hmm.
need me to mirror
Right.
right now? And
Right.
for him, do you need me to say to you, I'm not trying to control, I'm just trying to make sure you're safe.
Right. And I know that specific language, I would have to say, hey, I need you when you're asking me
Yeah.
things, say, hey, I just want to make sure you're safe, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because like a few things came to mind when as you were talking. Like one, I know that we've had, I don't remember what I said, but I know I said something one time that caused a little bit of a heated discussion. And his
Wait.
comment to me
Oh,
was,
between y'all, not us.
huh?
Between y'all, not us.
Yeah, no, no,
Oh, okay,
between,
okay.
no, 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 no. But it was because he said something and like, I don't know how I responded, but his response was, I never say anything that says you can't go and do what you want to do.
Mm,
So I think like in that moment, he was again trying to, say, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to protect you, whenever. That's not how it was said. Because I know I've never said to him, I don't need your protection. I've never said anything like that to him. But
mm-hmm.
I also know the words I'm trying to protect you have not been said to me, but that doesn't mean that's not what he's trying to do.
Right. And then
So
you're
just kind of helped give me a clear understanding. Cause like even with the Atlanta Jazz Festival, that I'm going to this weekend, I told him, I said, hey, I really would like if you drop me off and pick me up, and then you can go do whatever, while I'm doing that. So he was like, well, you're going to just call me. And I said, no, actually, I think we need to agree on a time to meet back because sometimes the phones don't work because there's so many people
mm,
out there.
okay.
So I was like, I would just rather at this time, I'm going to be in this same spot for you to pick me up. And I noticed he was like, okay, yeah, 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 that makes sense. So it's like, this is after the whole, I might go by myself, I might not, but it's just like, I don't want you, I know that he would freak out if he's trying to call me
And then
and
you
can't
can't,
get me
yeah,
with
can't
all
get
of those
through.
people out there. So, and because I knew that, which go me, because I wasn't even thinking this helped me. I wasn't even thinking I was doing this when I told him, but I was like, no. Well, I do know that he would kind of almost panic if it's like, it's a lot of people out here and I can't get in touch with her. So that's why I was like, no, I'm not going to call. I'll just be here at this time
Yeah.
to meet you. So we don't even have to do that. So um, this is good for me. I got more notes that I need to work on in therapy too.
But it ain't, we're all like, it's like again, you got to another level
Yeah,
because and I say another level because you were accepting of it. We those
yeah,
elevator doors don't get to open up on the
you're
next
right.
level of elevation if we're denying it.
Right,
You
right,
could have been like,
right,
well, nah, we don't really do all, nah, and you could
right.
put excuses, and that's not how this works. Healing and
Mhm.
evolving happens when we accept it. Oh,
Right,
okay, well then I can do that. Yeah, I can't see where I do. That's
right.
accepting, and now I can move on. Boo-doo, the next door's open.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
know?
think the things that I'm most in denial about are typically when I don't even know I'm a certain way.
Yeah,
But once I figure out that that's how I am receptive. And I
yeah.
know that even that is not a norm for some people. They just know I'm
Oh
just do
yeah,
this.
yeah,
This is
no.
just me. But like, just like I shared today, I know. I'd be like, when you said breeze, I legit looked out this patio door and was like, is the wind blowing? That's how in the
In the wind, just into the wind.
is the wind blowing right now? Like I literally looked out and I was like, oh no, let me focus.
And
Cause
that's also to speak on because I think y'all are at the beginning of this
mm-hmm,
in your relationship, not at the beginning of your relationship, but at the
right.
beginning of
Mm-hmm,
what I'm about to say of this part. When like for how we talk, and I'm able to say, because I already know you into the wind, you have to know your partner
yes.
enough so that
Mm-hmm,
you don't take things personally. You just know, I
right.
just know.
Mm-hmm,
So let me go ahead and say this, do this. But when we always take everything they do as an attack, we're not actually looking at them from the lens of
right.
who they are and not who
Mm-hmm,
we want them to be.
right. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, you doing this on purpose. So you no,
Mm-hmm,
no, okay, because that's you talking. That's your thing talking.
right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
There are some things that are intentional, and that's why we have to do a lot
Mm-hmm.
of am I aware of me? Right?
Self-awareness goes back.
Is
That's
this a me thing, or is this a really a they thing? Are they doing
mm-hmm,
this because of their things, of their mess?
right.
Right? Then we're going to reflect on it.
Mm-hmm,
Like, how can or what have I done for this to occur?
mm-hmm,
If nothing you can pull and be honest, if there's nothing that we can pull and be like, okay, I can see how I can contribute.
right.
I can,
Right.
but if there's nothing, then the next step is what? Conversation.
Mm-hmm,
Hey, I notice and have in I'm trying to I'm trying to lump in healthy and toxic, because people who
Mhm.
are in toxic relationships, this is kind of your indicator where we're never going to go anywhere with this, because you're never going to
Mhm.
see. So if I've done the self-awareness, if I've checked myself, then
Mhm.
I've done reflection of like, okay, how have I contributed to this thing that we're going through right now? And I'm like, okay, I haven't really, this is a they thing, because sometimes people have their own trauma experiences or whatever that they're bringing and they just keep
Mhm.
doing, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, we need to have a conversation. So we having a conversation. I'm like, hey, bring your 2 to 3 things, because you
Right.
have to have examples. You can say, I know. Okay, so last month when you did this, remember you was wearing the blue shirt and we were out at Sheila. We're gonna use Sheila again because Sheila's our girl. We was at Sheila house. Remember that tone that you had with me, and I didn't say anything, but I looked
Right.
at you and you looked at me like what was that? Then it was another time last week. You came in from work. You was having to have examples, not to be attacking, but because people who are defensive naturally just go into a defense is not me.
Mhm.
When? When? You can't even tell me when. When did I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that?
yeah.
So, hold on. I can tell you when. Hold on. I can. I can actually give you 3 things.
Oh, I was like, did somebody just say something about on this day that was over the weekend? The recording in the phone on June 17th, you said, remember your friend shared that her husband writes down when
Oh,
she
yes, yes, yes,
I was like, what?
yes. And I too am also like that. Because I too, to put myself in there, I too now I don't know, because this is, I feel like again, this is my journey to get here to do the things that I'm doing now. But in my 20s, I had even though he was toxic,
Mhm.
um, I had a boyfriend tell me, because I was a list runner.
Mm.
So I would build up, build up, build up, build up. And then I'd be like, all right, so you did this, 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 and hold on. So, and you did, and he was like, okay, look,
Right,
I can't, with you giving me a whole list
right.
of things. Uh,
Hmm.
that ain't gonna work for me. And so my rebuttal was, well, sometimes I can't talk to you.
Right.
His rebuttal was, write it down.
Mm. So now I got a list because you told me to write it
Well,
down.
no, instead of me waiting till I got a list and now I'm frustrated. Now
Oh,
I got
got it.
in the moment, if I'm frustrated and I feel that if I feel he's not going to talk to me, he's not going to hear me,
Hmm.
he ain't got no gut. He doesn't have a choice but to read it.
Gotcha.
So then one day we had, after the conversation, we had a moment and I left it right on the bed.
Hmm.
There you go. And so even in marriage, when I got to the point where I didn't want to talk, because again, I felt like I was dealing with a recorder.
Hmm.
It was
Hmm.
always going to be like, I understand. I'm gonna do better. It don't matter what I said. You hurt
Yeah,
3 people yesterday. I understand. I'm gonna do better. I won't do that again. I understand. I'm gonna do better. I won't do that again. You said that last month. You just killed 3 more people. I know, but this time I'm for real. I'm gonna do better. I won't do it again.
hmm.
We
Hmm.
kept. So then I was like, okay, boom. So we will have our Sunday check-ins. And
Hmm.
so then I was like, okay, I sent my bullet points of things we need to work on, whether it was relationship, kids, finances, or whatever. We sit on the couch together. I sent him the note. I have the note. We can go over each bullet. So
Hmm.
then it's not me. Okay, now we need to move on to this. Now we need to
Hmm.
move on. And I told him, you have your notes that you want to bring to the table. I have
Right.
my notes that we bring to the table. And but see, with me, I had screenshots of things I needed to talk about. Yeah,
I know you had your data collected.
yes. Because I need you to know that I'm serious, but I also need
Right.
to get this out because one, my tone,
Hmm.
I'm a Leo, so I'm gonna keep throwing that in there.
Hmm.
My tone when I am passionate about something, it can be taken as I'm yelling or I'm angry. Until you see me in those elements of being angry and yelling, then you'll see
Right.
the difference. But just me, like how I'm talking to you now, some people like, why are you so? Because I'm passionate about what I'm talking about.
Right. Right.
Right? I'm
Right.
not angry. I'm not upset. I feel feelings towards it. Right. And so with that, because he is more passive and he will shut down, I couldn't do that. So then I needed, and some people would rather not have communication than to use other forms of communication. That is still a form of communication. I'm
Right.
communicating to you how I feel, but because it's via text, sometimes you have to do it via text because
Right.
your partner is
Right.
so used to shutting down because again, maybe because of the lifestyle they had in their home. Yeah, they may have come from a lot of yelling.
Yep.
Work with what you can to get the point across until y'all can move up.
Right.
But don't just be like, well, I can't talk to him, so then we're just not gonna do it at all. So
Yeah,
then
I
how
have a
we get
problem
things
with that.
resolved?
Yeah. Right.
Because now
Yeah.
we at the point of like now we just pretending, that we got a good relationship, and I
Right.
had underneath thing, my whole rug pile up, his rug pile up with the things he wanted to say, and we just sitting over here, honey. We've been together for 5 years.
Right.
Yeah,
Got the quantity, but not the
not the
quality.
quality, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
if the goal, so my goal is always since then is
Mm-hmm.
to figure out a way that I can be understood and that I can get my message relayed in any means necessary. Because some
Right.
people are so fixed on, I gotta talk to you in person. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
do this.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right.
So that
And
means
if you're worried about tone, do a voice note.
I mean, the tone is still gonna be there, but
Yeah.
my hand movement and stuff, do it.
Yeah.
And again, I did those things with him sitting. So it's not like I sent the text or I sent the note when he was at work. I don't get his note. He don't get my note until we sitting on the couch at that time on Sunday.
Mm.
So it's like, why would you send that to me at work?
Right.
It's not
Right.
one of those,
Right. Right.
So it's just like, okay, it's like you coming to you coming with your notes, but if I know like you may take anything, my tone, my hand
Mm-hmm.
movement, whatever. Now you don't have an excuse because
Right.
you set the tone because you're the reader.
Right. Right. Right.
So now if you have questions or whatever, it's not where we're running from each other. I'm right here. So you can ask me
Right.
whatever you want to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can talk about it. I mean, I'm gonna find a way to communicate.
Like you, so tying it back to the question of is it being dishonest if you don't tell your partner everything? Um,
Yes or no?
I think, yeah, I agree because I feel like I was gonna say because you are in healthy mode emotionally, mentally, you know what I'm saying? You ask the questions, you offer explanations as needed, but like your son, he knows he's used to it. So you don't always offer those little explanations about where you're going, what you want to do, because he knows the why,
Yeah.
because you've had that discussion. But with other people, I think it's about sounds silly, but it's the truth, building that rapport with your partner. Because I feel like once you get into that healthy space, like it becomes more of a norm and it's easy. So you don't even like this question wouldn't even be a thing. You know what I'm saying?
But
Because
then
you're
it
all
elevates, like I said, we get into a norm, but then it
Mhm.
elevates to a more secure, but then
Right.
where you may fall back into where you was originally, because
Hmm.
again, it's not necessary for me to say, you know, um, where you going to be at. You already let me know, hey,
Right.
they were going out to brunch with Candace.
Right.
We going over here, so and so
Hmm.
restaurant. I'll probably be back around like
Right.
da 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 da. Do you want to do something after, or you want to just chill? That's
Hmm.
how that conversation goes.
Right. Right.
Instead of just, you know,
Pick me up at 8.
from where?
Look, the Lord is working on me.
Right. I'll tell you when I'm about to leave.
Look, he's working on me. Let me set this reminder for you to be there at that time,
Right.
at that spot. How
Right.
about that? Look, it's okay. This has been good.
God.
this is good because this could have went in a lot of other ways too. I was just thinking about like lying by omission. We've had a whole
Yeah.
conversation party about that. Uh,
And that's what I want to like being sneaky is it's like,
yeah,
what are your intentions? Because
right.
whatever your intentions is, it's going to depend on what the topic we talked about today.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be shoot, it may not be neither because
Right,
again, I'm not going
right,
to be transparent and I'm not going to be honest.
right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? You know, um, because honesty too is also depending on again that person because
Mm-hmm.
again, if I'm depending on you asking the right questions,
Right.
I was honest with you. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't ask, did you go?
Whew. I ain't gonna ask you why you got all this experience and know how people, but
Honey,
yeah, you right because I've dealt with that, but you didn't ask me that. What
you didn't ask me that.
do I have
Yeah, because
to?
I can I
Jeez.
I'm gonna lie.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna lie.
Lying is easy.
If you don't know what to ask, then I ain't gonna tell you.
Period. And yeah, this is a this is a this is a ouch for me, and not a bad ouch, not like a
No,
stump
no,
and
no,
twist your foot, but I
close to.
needed to.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
I was doing that.
Yeah, I needed to have this conversation because it just and again, I already said it, but this just enlightened for me things that I'm doing honestly, like I'm not conscious of how it can be affecting someone
Right,
else.
right.
Now that I have that viewpoint, which is the beautiful thing about these talks and conversation parties, because you get other perspectives that you don't like. I am only me. I only know how, I kind of got an idea of how other people are, but I know me best, right? And how
There you
I
go.
think. So it's easy to assume when you do things and you move a certain way, but like it's one of the reasons why I absolutely love doing the conversation parties because I like knowing other perspectives so that I'm not intentionally doing something to hurt or misunderstand. And it's just because I'm ignorant to it. I really just
Yeah, you
don't
just
know.
don't you just don't know.
Yeah. So,
So like today was an aha,
mm-hmm.
oh shoot, wait a minute, that might be me.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
it
like when
is.
you go to church and be like, is the pastor talking to me?
But I don't have anything else. Thank you for my aha help.
You are very welcome. You know, sometimes I have to catch that fish when it's out there.
Yeah. Yeah. She got a whole
Um,
pickup of fishing rods over there.
yeah. Actually, I do it like Jesus. I just throw that net and I just scoop everything out. Let me get everything. Okay, well, until next time, please keep it safe and sexy and do not embarrass me. Thank you.